This is the WWE SmackDown April 11, 2025 full show results video which takes place at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington, D.C. Nick Aldis is in the ring and on the mic and says he's been instructed to maintain his professionalism, and he's a man of his word, so he'll do that, but he's going to take the opportunity to invite Randy Orton to join him in the ring right now. Randy says it'll be his 20th WrestleMania and he needs Nick to do his job and find him an opponent, because he will be in Vegas, warmed up and ready to go, with his gear on, and he doesn't care what it takes, up to and including Aldis lacing them up again. Nick talks about busting his ass for 20 years to get here, and he doesn't need Randy's money, he needs his respect. Randy says he earned his respect a long time ago, but if he doesn't get a match he doesn't know if he's gonna be able to apologize to Mickie James for whatever he does to him after he doesn't get a match. Then comes Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, and Sikoa tells Aldis to tell Randy to get out of the ring and stop embarrassing himself, because nobody wants to hear Orton cry. Randy says the voices are telling him to tell them to get in the ring so he can show Seattle how to beat two Samoan boys up. Tama Tonga gets on one side of the ring, clobbered, uppercut for Solo on the other, going for the hanging DDT, but Solo attacks him from behind and they lay him out and put boots to the Viper until LA Knight makes the save. He gets on the mic and says he knows he and Randy haven't gotten enough, so he wants to have a tag match later tonight to satisfy the tingling in his loins, and Nick Aldis makes it official. Then we saw a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Gauntlet match. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria start against Pure Fusion Collective, and the result of this round was Bayley and Lyra Valkyria eliminated Pure Fusion Collective by pinfall with a jackknife pin from Valkyria on Shayna Baszler. Maxine Dupree and Natalya are out third, and the result of this round was Bayley and Lyra Valkyria eliminate Maxine Dupree and Natalya with a small package from Bayley on Dupree. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are out fourth, and the result of this round was Bayley and Lyra Valkyria eliminate Katana Chance and Kaden Carter by pinfall with Nightwing from Valkyria on Katana Chance. B-Fab and Mia Yim are out fifth, and the result of this round was Bayley and Lyra Valkyria eliminate B-Fab and Mia Yim by pinfall with Roseplant from Bayley on B-Fab. The Secret Hervice are out sixth, and the final result was Bayley and Lyra Valkyria won the match, last eliminating the Secret Hervice by pinfall with a diving leg drop from Valkyria on Alba Fire to become the #1 contenders to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Post-match, Judgment Day come into the ring to square up with their new #1 contenders. Back from the commercial, Naomi Priest makes his entrance, but Drew McIntyre attacks him on the ramp and smashes his head into the LED boards on the barricade over and over until road agents, referees, and security to break things up. Priest can't get his feet all the way under him and has to be helped out. McIntyre, eye patch and all, gets on the mic and asks if we can all see clearly yet. He calls Damien a parasite who would never face him like a man until he got down to one eye. He challenged him to a Sin City street fight because he's only got one eye, and he accepted because that's the kind of man Drew McIntyre is. He takes the eye patch off and says he's 100% cleared, and that means that Priest is 100% screwed at WrestleMania. Damien Priest comes back down over the objections of referees and security, and the two of them brawl. Big lariat and a back elbow in the corner, clothesline sends Drew to the floor. Out with him, and McIntyre picks up the steel steps and smacks Priest with them. Drew considers his hand, slightly bloodied, and drags Priest atop the steps, and hits Future Shock DDT on the steel steps. Drew McIntyre screams agony as he sits up and stares Damien down, ripping Priest's necklace off. The next match happened between Humberto Carrillo vs Rey Fenix, and the result of this match was Rey Fenix defeated Humberto Carrillo by pinfall with the Mexican Muscle Buster. Post-match, Santos Escobar demanding Humberto Carrillo to shake Rey's hand. Humberto does so in kind of a shitty way on his way out of the ring, and Santos stays behind to glad hand and sweet-talk Phoenix, clearly scouting him for Legado del Fantasma. Byron Saxton is outside of Nick Aldis' office with Roxanne Perez for some reason. She says since Ava Raine won't give her an answer about Stand and Deliver, she's here to talk about fighting for the WWE Women's Championship since she was the Royal Rumble runner-up. Tiffany Stratton rolls up and tells her to get her name out of her mouth, and they bicker back and forth right as Nick comes out of his office and fails to get their attention. They set up a match. He says it's been a day and he'll think about it, but in the meantime, Tiffany needs to cool off. Chelsea Green is banging on the trainer's room door begging the Secret Hervice to be better so they can help her in her match tonight. Zelina Vega rolls up to make fun of her for needing help, and Green goes right back to begging. The next match happened between Chelsea Green vs Zelina Vega, and the result of this match was Zelina Vega defeated Chelsea Green by countout. Andrade El Idolo is backstage with Humberto saying he had a great match and he needs to remember that he's a great wrestler too. He needs to keep his face up and be proud. Carrillo stands up and tells him to mind his own business. Back from commercial, Naomi calls Jade Cargill a snake and says if she hadn't slammed her into a car it would have been her eventually. But it's okay because there's no more fake loyalty and she's doing what's best for her, and at WrestleMania, she strongly advises her to proceed with caution. Jade Cargill cuts a counter promo covered in red ruffled net. She says when a star fades it steals shine from somewhere else, and that's what this is about. The glow is fading and Naomi is desperate to stay relevant. American Nightmare Cody Rhodes makes his entrance and talks about what the title means, about it representing that you're the best wrestler in the world, but he knows that it won't always be him. He spins the spinner and asks if that's someone who can carry the company on his back for 10 years. Cody says Cena says he doesn't present himself authentically, but here's the thing, he's the champion and John is not. He calls himself the captain, but he's on a roster that has everyone from CM Punk to Sami Zayn on it, and they all make each other better. He'll tell Cena the same thing he told Brock and Roman, he does his best work in the ring backed into the corner and know that Bell is going to ring. And when it does, and it's over, he'll leave John the ring to have his moment to say goodbye. It'd be clever to say his time is up and his time is now, but Cena has known that for some time. And one day Cody's own time will be up, but until then, the title is his, it is timeless, it stays in his home, and it stays with them. Byron Saxton interviews the Street Profits backstage and Montez Ford says they like Motor City Machine Guns but they don't have the titles and they run the division. Mello don't Miz roll up and Carmelo Hayes says they're running the division into the ground, and Miz says them being champions is a joke and the titles not being on the WrestleMania card is a slap in the face to anyone who's ever held the titles, and they're gonna come for the titles about it. The next match happened between Roxanne Perez versus Tiffany Stratton, and the result of this match was Tiffany Stratton defeated Roxanne Perez by pinfall with the prettiest moonsault ever. Post-match, Charlotte Flair attacks Stratton and throws her into the barricade and the ring post. Throwing Stratton over the desk, Wade Barrett gets between them and warns Charlotte off, telling her not to get herself fired. She yells at him but ultimately backs off. In the main event of the show, we saw a tag team match between LA Knight and Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, and the result of this match was LA Knight and Randy Orton won the match by pinfall with the BFT from Knight on Tama Tonga. Post-match, Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu appears in the ring and lays Knight out with a super kick and a running senton. Headbutts, ode to Rikishi, and the werewolf is fired up, then hits double jump moonsault. Fatu grabs the title belt and throws it down to hit another moonsault. Jacob licks the title and stands tall, the bug appears and Fatu gets one more moonsault and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's SmackDown show? Tell me in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe the channel. Stay tuned with the Wrestling Battle for the further updates and video, and thanks for watching.